Hey guys, today I'm going to be filming my fitness plan with me for the first week in August, and I'm actually going to be using this Odd Loop kit that I've had for quite a while. I think it was the first one I ordered, and at some point along the way I misplaced the little things that go with this and I could not for the life of me find them. I've been looking for well over a month and I still haven't been able to find them, so I'm guessing it either got shoved in with another kit or fell off my desk, like fell into the trash can or something, but I decided that since I can't find the little things, I definitely wanted to use this kit in August. I'm going to go ahead and use it in my fitness plan with me, which I think will work out a-okay. So I am thinking what I want to do is maybe use some of the washi in the half boxes on the bottom for uploads instead of doing uploads on the side like I did this week. So we'll see. I also, since I really like this kit, I got like the water. I might try that this week on the side, do like water, miles, and this week, and then I got this to do uploads, but if I don't know, I might try that. I still obviously have my Planner Kate water bottles, but I thought I would try it on the sidebar to see how I liked that. So trying new things. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just a fair warning as we get into this, I did not set up my lighting for this, and so if the lighting kind of changes as it gets like darker and brighter outside, I do apologize, but I think it looks okay. I clicked the exposure down once, so I'd rather have it be a little too dark than a little too light, because I can fix that. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and do this like dark gold color because this green and the light yellow will be easier to match with other things, and this is like the same color that's in this kit. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these down, or I'll do the full, what am I doing? For the full box that's up there, I definitely want to do this navy. I'm all over the place, guys. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I should probably do my sidebar first, because that's what I normally do first. I don't know why I was like gonna go put down my headers. But yeah, and then I also filled out this real quick in here. I'll do miles, and then I'll do the green of the water because I don't know how much of the water I'll actually use throughout the month, so I'm not like particularly scared I won't have colors to match, because I could always just use my water bottles. And then this week, and I need to put a chunk of washi down. Let's do the pineapple. Is this enough? Yeah. So last week I kind of talked about how I've been struggling with losing weight and eating well, and people seem to be really receptive to like just me talking about it. I wasn't sure what would be wanted, so I thought I'd kind of talk about how I got to where I am right now, just like the recent history. I could go into my past since I was a teenager, but it would seriously be like a 45-minute long video, and I don't know if I can talk for that long during one of these videos without it being just totally not coherent. So let's see. I have 2 of these, 3 of these, 3 of those. I probably won't use that one. But let's do this cool citrus one. So I was a consistent weight from when I graduated college in 2012 through like the end of my graduate program, and I graduated in 2014, and I was a pretty consistent weight for most of college as well. The only time my weight ever went up in college was I was on a really long course of steroids, but that weight came off as soon as I stopped the steroids and just kept eating normally. If you didn't know, steroids can make you, they screw with your hunger cues, and it just makes you like ravenous all the time. So I did gain weight, but it came off, you know, within a couple months after. So that wasn't like really a lifestyle thing. So at the end of my graduate program, in the past, I've been an emotional eater. I've struggled with binge eating before, but what am I doing? Okay, let's do YouTube. I started kind of binge eating again towards the end of my graduate program. I specifically remember I had to read, I think it was like 15 YA novels I think I read in 2 days for a class I was in. And I was crazy and was very overwhelmed with the amount of work. And so I was eating like to keep myself awake. I was eating to like make it more enjoyable, because as much as I love reading for 18 hours a day, 2 days in a row is like not fun, so to say the least. And I was just eating because I was stressed out, like I said, just to stay awake, to entertain myself while I had to read all these books. And after that, I couldn't find a job in a library, and so I went into retail, which I've worked retail before, and it was a high-end retail shop. And I was commuting a really long way to work at this place, and traffic was really bad, to the point, like, if there wasn't traffic, it would take about 45 minutes to get there, and then if there was traffic, I was frequently in the car for like maybe an hour and a half each way. There were definitely days I was in the car well over 3 hours, and I was exhausted. I would come home and be so burnt out and so stressed, and I would go into Walmart. There's a Walmart right by my apartment, on my way home, and I was just like a zombie, and I would go through and I would buy, you know, a box of mac and cheese, a huge bag of gummies, a pint of ice cream, a box of cookies, a box of crackers, and then I'd come home and I would just eat and eat and eat and eat until I didn't feel anything anymore. And food was my drug of choice. I hated my job, I was miserable, and that was what I did when I came home every day. I came home and I just ate until I was like physically felt sick. And so instead of focusing on how much I hated my job, I could just focus on like how much pain I was in because I had consumed so much food. And it wasn't like, you know, oh, I had an extra serving of dessert. It would be like I could easily consume 2,000-3,000, sometimes probably more calories in an evening. So I was eating a lot, and that was on top of like normal meals. I was still working out and doing Tone It Up workouts, but I was not eating like Tone It Up approved anything. Okay, so then I want to do my checklists here. I'll do my heart I guess they're not heart checklist, they have fruit for these, and then my ombre heart checklist down here with the meal headers. I'll probably do, yeah, I'll do these first. So yeah, I was utterly miserable. I hated everything, and I started gaining weight rapidly. And oh, we were also planning our wedding at this point in time, so I was so burnt out. My mom did, like, thank goodness for my mom, she did everything for the wedding because we got engaged and got married within 6 months, and it was just because of my husband's school schedule. We didn't want to wait, you know, the next time that we would have that much time off together was going to be, like, basically when he graduated, and we didn't want to wait almost 2 years to get married. So it was just very stressful, and I gained a lot of weight very rapidly. I mean, I almost didn't fit into my wedding dress the day of my wedding because I gained so much weight between, like, the 2 weeks between my final fitting, or week, whatever, the final fitting and my wedding. And I just felt so gross, but, like, I couldn't stop eating. It was like I'd get anxious if I tried to, like, not eat. I'd get panic attacks, and I knew just from, you know, general knowledge and classes I took, I pretty much fit the diagnostic criteria for BED, and I went to a doctor, and she was like, yep, you pretty much fit the criteria for BED. So I've, like, been diagnosed by a professional, and I went into a, like, pretty intensive therapy program for people with eating disorders, because I've struggled with other forms of disordered eating. When I was younger, I was never anorexic or bulimic. It would have just been, like, at the time it would have been non-eating disorder, not otherwise specified. I think that was how they had it in the DSMV. And it probably would have be closest considered to, like, non-purging bulimia, because I used to binge and then I would work out a lot to make up for it. But I did that when I was in high school, and I hadn't done that in college. So it had been a long time, and, like, working out isn't a thing that's an issue anymore. Even, like, the medical professionals were like, yes, work out, you're fine. Like, I don't work out obsessively anymore. I don't have issues taking days off. It's been, like, a decade, almost a decade, since I've really had issues with that. I guess, like, 7 years. So definitely was able to come back and tone it up. I feel like they tell me what to do. There's a schedule, there's a routine, and, like, there's a beginning and an end point. And I don't feel like that thought of, like, well, am I doing enough? Do I need to do more? Like, does this count? Blah, blah, blah. So I don't have those thoughts. But binge eating disorder, it was really rough for me because I had to, like, deal with a lot of the anxiety that I hadn't been dealing with, the anxiety that I was, instead of, you know, like, yes, I'm anxious, I would just eat and eat and eat, and then I wouldn't feel anxious anymore because I was so full. And so I had to learn other ways to deal with my anxiety. I also quit the job in retail, and that was when I started subbing, and I love subbing. So that was a healthy decision on my part to get myself out of a job I hated, even if it meant making less. It was like a mental health thing. I needed to get out of that position. I was miserable. I hated what I was doing. I loved my coworkers, but I hated what I was doing. So, yeah, I started doing a lot of, like, stuff to distract after dinner, because that was always when my binges was like after dinner. I didn't do those, like, perfectly symmetrical. Let's see how this comes up. I can't get my finger underneath it. There we go. Okay. We're gonna be okay. Yep, there we go. So I started doing a lot of adult coloring books, and I started getting into watching a lot of Plan With Me videos. I would feel anxious, and so I'd put on a Plan With Me video and watch those to like distract myself and to like keep my mind occupied if I was doing other stuff. Like I'd put them on in the background while I was coloring or doing something else. So that was kind of how I got into planning. It was a very soothing thing for me to watch, and then I was like, I want to do that, and lo and behold, I'm filming my own. So while I've stopped binging behaviors, that hasn't been an issue for me in a while. Since I started the therapy program, we had to like write goals every Monday, and my first goal was to not binge just until Wednesday, because we had another meeting on Wednesday. And so I was like, I can make it 2 days without binging. And I did it. And then I haven't like binged since then. Like, yes, I've had instances where I've like eaten, you know, a little extra of a serving than I should have, or like I chose to have a second portion of something, but it isn't like, it's very different when you're like, oh, I really enjoy this, I want to have a few more bites of it, and mindlessly eating to numb, and like the volume is very different. So I know the difference between those things. There's definitely been things I shouldn't have eaten, but I've maintained the weight I've been since I was in the program. How do I want to do this? I think I'm gonna put like a piece of washi at the top of each of these, and then like layer the half boxes lower. Like, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. So I want to lose the weight I gained while I was having issues with binging, and a big part of like the binging was I would spend all day like trying to eat perfectly clean and be super healthy, and then I'd feel like a lot of guilt and shame about the food I was eating. And so part of for me was like eliminating the idea that there were good and bad foods, and being okay with eating like the right portion of whatever I wanted to eat. But I'm maintaining the weight that I'm at. I haven't gained, I haven't lost, but I would like to lose because I don't fit into any of my clothes, and I just feel, for lack of a better term, I kind of feel gross. Not that I am gross, but I feel like it's not my body anymore. It doesn't feel like me. I'm gonna go ahead and put these half boxes down. So that has been, I think, how do I wanna, like that? I like that. And there we go. And I don't know, I want to feel comfortable in my body again, and I want to get back to the weight I was for so long before all of this was an issue. And I feel like that's a realistic goal because I was never like a really low body weight. It's definitely a healthy weight for me to be at, and I want to feel healthy again. So we'll see. I kind of am starting to track calories again, in the sense of I need to like eyes wide open be aware of what I'm eating, because right now I'm really not, and I kind of just, it's sort of like the fingers in the ears, nah, I can't hear you. If like I can't hear you, it's not real, but I need to like really be aware of what I'm eating. So right now I'm just sort of tracking just to see like what a typical day looks like for me. Okay, so I have the half boxes down there. Alright, I'm gonna zoom you guys in and put these down. Any finishing thoughts before I jump into this? So yeah, that's like how I gained the weight, was just in a very short period of time. Probably in about 6 months I gained 20 pounds. So I really want to take that weight off, and I want to be at the, not even the weight, but the size I was at. Like I don't care about the number on the scale, I care about how my clothes fit. So the weight I was before was about 20 pounds, but I could theoretically be at a higher weight than that if I have a little more muscle mass. It could be, you know, 3 or 4 pounds higher. I just want my clothes to fit again. That's all I care about. So, yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's sort of how I got here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and put these down, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now that I have that down, I do want to put my weekend banner in. I'm going to put it right there. And then I also want to just decorate with a few pieces of deco. I'm just going to put them up here between the days. So I'll do 2 over here, and then 3 over here. I love this kit. It reminds me of Animal Crossing. If you've ever played that game, it reminds me of the fruit furniture and the fruit on the trees, and it just makes me very happy. So this is the finished spread. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know, do you like me talking about this kind of stuff? I know it can be a little deep for something that is, you know, very fun and lighthearted, but this is part of my fitness journey, and I've been sharing it with you for a while, so it feels nice to like be honest and to be able to just talk about stuff and not avoid it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you next time. Bye guys!